Last week on a Daydreamers podcast,
I challenge our listeners to really pay attention to what time Pilates classes are. They're always around noon or 9 a.m., 8. Some of them are at 11. It's a way of doing things without having to say things. You know what I mean? You just make it non-accessible.
Shauna was like, Aaron, do not ever in your life ever again say why you do not understand why people think you're gay.
They do got like this running joke of like the gay starter pack or like the bisexual starter pack.
He's talking about me looking like a stud if I get my hair done this type of way. But shoot, they be looking fly though. And she was like, but Aaron, he don't want his wife to look like that. And I was like, oh, I get it.
Now, another stereotype of that same sexual orientation is all the earthiness and the colors and the food and the artist looking. And you wear a lot of dog ears.
I do.
Yeah, now that's usually associated with Caucasian. Still, it's under that nonetheless.
Welcome back to a Daydreamers podcast with Aaron and Shauna. Let's jump into part 2.
And we'll make it quick. So I wanted to add in 2 new segments that I feel like I wanted to add them in permanently, but if it don't fit or whatever for whatever episode it is. But anyway,
trying something new.
It's that self-improvement leveling up / community focused type stuff, all positivity and what we're doing to make ourselves better. It's that section of the show, and the 2 components of that section of the show, the self-improvement leveling up community stuff. Section 1 is grieving and growing your literal and metaphorical edges. And I got this from our lovely, enchanted one, Shauna, because she has a running series on her TikTok called How I Am Growing My Literal and Metaphorical Edges. Can you just speak on that a little bit, ma'am?
Well, I had a child.
Yeah.
Okay? And I lost my edges.
Me too, girl. Look, it's
still
thin right here.
But it is thin. You can see it's thin, but
here.
It was bad.
And see, I
got baby hair now.
Years from now, so
I got baby hair now, but it was like, you see how good that looked, but that was not there. Like,
let me see.
This was not even there. So now
I got you.
I can twist that.
Yeah,
so look regular. You know, this one
I can't do nothing with this part on mine.
We still got some stuff to do, but it's definitely doing very well.
And you know, on the cool, that's why I always have on headbands now, because I feel like my edges are thin right here. Other than for work,
2 spots, children, just children.
But that's why I wear headbands a lot more, other than the fact that I like them.
I didn't run into it was very few people out there who had locks who were talking about it. It was a lot of people who were talking about it because it affects mostly everybody. I'm throwing out a number. It's probably not correct. But I'm gonna say about 80% of people, from what I've seen, very rarely did I see anybody who was like, I didn't have that problem. And that's whether you took vitamins or didn't, or still were taking them or didn't, or whatever. Because I definitely still take my vitamins every day. And it's a hormone.
Your prenatal?
Yep. That along with some additional supplements as well. So
even with and the other supplements are cool for breastfeeding too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Everything I take is cool with breastfeeding. Like, I'll take additional copper, additional iron, because I was anemic before that. Like I said, I take additional iron, and I take sunflower lecithin also, which helps with the milk, because I still
with the milk flow
to make sure I don't get stuck or nothing.
What about oatmeal? Are you still doing oatmeal?
I mean, I'll eat it every now and again, but it didn't really have an effect.
It helped.
What I do to try to increase the volume is I drink this drink called Malta. It's like a Hispanic drink. It's a non-alcoholic malt drink. It does not taste like beer. Don't think. It's really sweet.
No, I get it. I know
it's sweet. Because the first thing I thought was like, beer. I was like, it's not, but it's not. It's good.
I was all about some oat milk and some coconut water and oatmeal.
Good is a strong word for that. It's acquired.
Yeah.
You gotta like it or have been brought up with it, because apparently it's like a Hispanic and Caribbean childhood kind of drink. But anyway, that helps, and they're in tiny bottles, so I don't have to drink like this giant bottle or anything. But anyway, so the whole point was to talk about that and to like what I was using, what hair products and stuff I was using to try to get that to come back, and then also um try to get my mobility and like just back on a physical level of like before, like from before before I gave birth. So that was pretty much it. It wasn't even necessarily like weight loss, great. I would like to do that. I lost a lot of weight
You
in my
skinny
pregnancy.
bitch. I have not lost any, but go ahead.
Girl, I lost like 30 pounds in my pregnancy.
What are you
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah, I went down like
Shit.
2 dress sizes. Like,
Oh my God, I'm so fucking happy for you.
so I was like,
I
in
am,
efforts
but
to
damn.
try to like, I probably gained like 8 pounds back, but like, I would like to not do that, and I would also like to continue with the weight loss. That would be great. But it was just
Wonderful.
because I got so sick, and then like my mama was dying.
Oh,
Like, you know, like it wasn't good weight loss. It was pregnancy sick and stress and
yeah.
just so much stress, and then right after just so much grief. Like,
I've never heard you say that. This is my first time. I want to say I've heard you say.
we didn't really talk about it.
No, but even the times we did talk about mama, and when I say mama, I'm talking about Kayshana's mama. I've never heard you say those words, and I don't even want to say it. I don't want to repeat it, but say, you know,
it just
we always say, people say passing and things like that, but I've never heard you say my mama.
It was actively dying in my last days. She just was. It's what it was. She was on hospice.
She was. I know that's cringe. Oh my gosh.
And I was one of her end of life caregivers because I was one of her caregivers in general. All right. So yeah. So if you want to know or follow along that journey, that inconsistent journey, you can follow me on TikTok because it's not consistent, baby. If you just want to follow us on TikTok, on
I thought it was cool because when I saw you be like, "This is how I'm growing my literal metaphorical edges," I'm like, my girl is so poetic, but that's dope. Though. And then I was just like, because I need to grow out my edges. But then I was just like, I kind of like that, and I was like, I want to bring that to the daydreamers, and it could be anything, like it
could be anything. It's not just
that and like I said, when I saw that, I saw it as a way of you raising your baseline or self-improvement type stuff. And so I was like, well, we can, like how we are intentional about what we did to make ourselves happy and what has our head in the clouds. I said we can also talk about what we're doing intentionally to improve ourselves, our community, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
I guess it could be like, just a segment. How you getting your edges back this week? Like,
right. So yeah. So that's,
and if you want to know the products that actually help, you can go to TikTok and you can see what it is that I used to do that. Also, keep in mind I do have seborrheic dermatitis. If you are a sufferer of that, you should also follow because I do talk about that.
I finally figured out what that is because I was watching, I'll be watching weird stuff on like Snapchat and TikTok and YouTube or whatever.
Snapchat is weird. They got like weird stuff on there. Yeah.
Girl, okay, but like I'm watching like tooth extractions and I'm watching like plaque calculus, which is like when that plaque turns really hard.
Yeah.
But like I'm watching stuff like that for fun and educational purposes and for work purposes. But then I started getting into some other stuff. And then I came across like a dandruff video just in the midst of like tooth extractions and how do you hold your high-speed burr during stuff like that. And I was like, what is this? Dandruff? Oh, okay. I like dandruff, girl. Then I got into the whatever. I don't even know how to say it.
There's a difference between like dandruff and then seborrheic dermatitis.
And everybody's stuff is like different. Shauna be talking about? Girl. Hold up.
But the thing is, keep in mind when they show you that, just like when they show you the plaque, they show you extreme cases. Everybody not like that. So it is different and like
it's still
stress affects it. It wasn't onset for me. This is not something I had all my life. This happened when I worked at prison and something really bad happened to me in prison.
When I worked, you never said you worked in prison.
I did it on the show. Well, I used to work for a prison.
You've always just that place. It's always kind of been like at that place.
Oh, it was terrible. So it was a shit show. But like
it's out. So she worked at a prison. Okay.
I did. I worked there for a long time.
You did. You were stressed, girl.
And this was like at like not the very beginning, but I would say it still was like earlier on or whatever. But anyway, something really bad happened. And before I knew it, you'll see me sometimes like it started right here.
Uh-huh.
I thought like I was just like, I thought my scalp was just irritated. Something happened. And and it was that night too. I vividly remember just being like this and being like this. And I've had an issue ever since. I had to get like prescription shampoos and things like that. And I even found something that works that's not a prescription. But if you are interested in those things, leave a comment. Let me know, especially if you have locks, because you don't see people with locks really. It's maybe like 2 or 3 people with locks that talk about it. I've even seen some people who had to cut their locks off because it was bad. But fortunately for me, it's not as bad. And I'm grateful, especially considering all the shit that has occurred and things like that. And the hormone shifts from having a kid. So like I'm very grateful.
Girl, look, girl, it's about to be 4 years and my right ankle it's still bigger than my left ankle. Now it's probably health issues, not that I'm unhealthy, but like I am 55 pounds. Like I did have a baby in my late 30s. Like
your body process out different, and you also have aged 4 years.
Exactly. So like I'm also 39 now. So I'm just like I wish my ankles. If my ankle, the times that it's gone back to like a matching size, and I don't feel like my foot is filled with jello at times, is like when I was really just like eating nothing but fruit.
Did you wear compression socks? Do you have compression socks?
Yeah.
Do you wear them?
Yeah, especially since I started working in the operatories because I'm on my feet.
Okay.
So I started even looking into compression type, not like workout types, but like medical compression types, like pantyhose type, along those lines. Cause girl, just because I am on my feet, and then also like my feet anyway, girl. But the only times like my ankles went back down to a size was like when I was just like raw vegan, and I don't think that's just sustainable for me in my regular everyday life.
Not for me either. But it wouldn't hurt to do like 3 days every now and then.
But I used to be like basically raw vegan during the day, and then in the evening time I would eat whatever I cooked for my family.
Yeah, that it just incorporated,
Yeah. So, but those are the only times, and then like I'm getting back as far as like growing edges and stuff and improving myself. Like I make myself do at least 30 minutes on the elliptical because I'm not doing anything else, Aaron. So like just going in the garage and just get on the elliptical for 30 minutes, an hour. I mean, not an hour, a mile.
You sound like an Everest commercial. You on the phone anyway. You might as well.
I'm not. I'm just over here in the kitchen on my phone.
You're sitting on the couch.
Just go ahead and do it. But 2,241 strides is a mile on my elliptical. So I'm doing a mile or 30 minutes, whichever one. Mm-hmm. But anywho. Okay. So let's roll into one of the newer additions we want to add to the show, Kayshana.
Oh, so, and I'm just thinking like, yeah. So I don't know if y'all have heard of this, which I'm sure you have. This is not new. And this is coming from Reddit. So we're gonna do Am I the Asshole? Because I think it would just be fun. All it is people briefly explaining this, explaining a situation, and then you kind of just weigh in on if you think they're wrong or not, basically. And these are coming from Reddit. I have never read them before, neither has Aaron. So everything is a genuine first impression for everybody involved. Okay. So we'll start. And again, these are coming from Reddit. If it's like, he told me to shut up. If it's like if it's like 222, we will abdicate and go with another one. And I had it up. Hold on. Is it just because?
Well, while you're looking for that, let me say this. I used to have a conversation with friends and my mom, and where I'd have to be like,
on my phone, duh. Okay,
like, let me know if I'm wrong. Like, am I being a bitch? But that's something I used to ask my friends. Like, let me know this. Let me just break this down. I need to know, am I being a bitch? Am I being selfish? Am I being...
That's basically it. Okay, and I'm reading these from my phone. Okay. The question is, am I the asshole for not wanting to mend things with my daughter? My ex and I, 49 male, were married for 2 years and had a daughter before I discovered her affair. But she took her own life during the divorce. I stayed close to my in.
What?
Yeah. So
Back?
the ex-wife took her own life during the divorce.
Okay.
I stayed. This is coming from the males, the dudes, the ex-husbands.
Okay.
specifically.
So
I
they
stayed,
broke up because she cheated.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
They were married for 2 years and they had a daughter before he figured out she was having an affair. But she took her own life during the divorce. It says, I stayed close to my in-law because I didn't want to take away their granddaughter. But that was a mistake because they secretly hated me and were turning my daughter against me. By the
Wow.
time I found out, it was too late and my daughter hated me. She was fighting with me, broke many things in the house, and ran away multiple times. I tried to explain to her what happened, but she wouldn't believe me. My family also tried in vain. At one point, I couldn't take it anymore, and I let her go live with her grandparents, and she cut off all contact with me. After a year of waiting, I had enough and moved to Canada to try to rebuild my life. She was 14 when I left. Recently, I learned that my father passed away and I wanted to fly back. But my brother told me that my daughter would be present. Apparently, as she grew up, she understood many things and realized her grandparents were lying. She cut contact with them and was rebuilding a relationship with my brother and my father. They didn't let her contact me because I was still in a bad place. And frankly, I still am. I'm not sure if I want her in my life again. I know she was just a kid back then, and now she's an adult. She's 22 now. But even with that, I'm not sure. I need advice. Yikes. That's tough. But you want to go first? You can go first.
I'm gonna tell you what the initial feelings, the initial thoughts. The initial thoughts is that this child was behaving based on information that she was given and basically was brainwashed. She's older now and she understands that what she was told was wrong and she's trying to make amends.
Mm-hmm.
It was happening when she was 14. So what is that?
She's 22 now.
8 years.
Yeah.
Dad, I think you should hear her out. I'm not saying like come back and we're all gonna be like going for ice cream dates and stuff, you know, but like Dad, and I'm not saying just brush it up under the rug, but I do think you should hear her out. I mean, I think he should open the door for there to be something. And I'm not saying it's going to start off like everything's great, you know, and depending, and especially if what she did during the time of her acting out and behaving based on her grandparents, brainwashing methods or whatever, like it must have been tremendous for him to still be having such hard feelings about it and not wanting to mend things. So it must have been bad. But at the same time, like, I'm wondering if, like, you know, when you're just in your mind about something, it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows because it's just been on your mind. But it may not be as big as what it really is. It's just that you've been over here isolated from everything and all, and what you're holding on to was what it was back then 8 years ago.
Right.
So it's probably grown in your head.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Whatever you make it, basically. It's your experience and whatever you and your anxiety about it.
Yeah, like you've been sitting on this for so long.
And he doesn't mention if he went to therapy or not.
No.
Because that's what I'm gonna say. Go to therapy.
Yeah, it's definitely like, and see, the other thing is I just feel on some end if my family member, my child or whatever, went through a period, and I know it's because they're young, and I know it's because of X, Y, and Z. And then also the girl's mama passed away when she was young. So it's probably been 14
There's a
years
lot
of
of trauma,
brainwashing.
and there was no talks of therapy for anybody in any of
Yeah,
this.
like she didn't get brainwashed over a year or 6 months to a year. She probably was getting this her entire life. So when she's old enough to speak on her own, she's acting like, yeah, like it's been a lot of years of her receiving all this type of stuff. So yeah, I do think that it would be an asshole to not want to mend it. I'm not saying jump back in there because a lot needs to be discussed, talked about, feelings are hurt, all this and that. People need to be accountable for their actions and things. But yeah, I think that would be an asshole for not wanting to mend things.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say kudos to you for recognizing that you weren't in a good place and that you still aren't. So in recognizing that, again, I ain't heard nothing about therapy, and you very well might be in it, you know. And if you're not, I suggest you go sit on somebody's couch
Most definitely. Lay
or a
out on it
nice armchair,
and get you a
whatever it
blanket,
is they have in there, what's that thing called?
some
It's like
water.
a chase,
Mhm.
chase lounge. I suggest
Lay out.
you go get on one of those. Most
Mhm.
definitely. And if your daughter hasn't already, she sounds like she actually might have dabbled already since she's come to terms with a lot of the truth and things like that. I don't know. But I think everybody needs it. First of all, divorce is enough of a reason. Your ex-spouse committing suicide during that divorce process, that's enough of a reason. You basically losing your child to a flock of lies and some toxic people. And I know you hated to leave her there. I know you did. That's another reason, not to mention just, you don't have to have trauma to go to therapy, but everybody got trauma. That's all I'm saying. I hope that you would have sought that out. I don't think that you would be wrong, like Aaron said, for baby stepping it. But I think you would be wrong if you didn't attempt in any way, or at least make a plan to attempt. Even if it's not right now at a funeral, it doesn't have to be this, because you're also processing the fact that you just lost your daddy. You might not be in the place to do all of that right now, which is fine, and that's okay. But I think that you should. You would be an asshole if you didn't make any kind of plans to at least baby step it. And like Aaron was saying, it may not be, and it's not going to be like it was because y'all missed that part.
Yeah.
But it could be something. It could be some sort of relationship. I don't think, I think it basically what we saying is we think you would be wrong if you did nothing, if the dude did nothing. So there's a lot with that. You want to move on to the next one? Do one more?
Yeah, we can.
All right. So let's see. Oh. Would you like to see? Okay, so I'll let you pick. And you want one about embarrassing my husband in front of family and ruining his day?
Oh wow.
Or breaking up with my boyfriend over his response for telling him my mother was dying. Which one?
Embarrassment.
Embarrassment. Okay. Again, we have never seen these. Somebody's awake, by the way.
Okay, I was gonna say Piccolo woke up.
He's awake. So, my husband and I have 4 kids combined. Blended family. They are 14-year-old boy, 11-year-old girl, 8-year-old boy, and 10-month-old girl. Well, my 14-year-old and my husband haven't gotten along recently. It started roughly last year when my son's biological father reached out to my son directly and told him he wanted to meet him. That father signed away his rights when he was born and never met him, but the son knew who he was and often looked at his Facebook page because he knew who he was. My husband said no, that he could meet him when he was 18. I wasn't there for the conversation, but regardless, when I found out, it caused a huge blow-up fight to a point of nearly divorcing because my husband had it in his head that I didn't respect him, quote unquote, and neither did my son, apparently. To be fair to him here, my son's father is not a good person. He's an alcoholic who consistently has his license revoked for failure to pay child support and driving while intoxicated. So due to this, my husband told my son he wasn't allowed to meet his father until he was an adult. But the issue was that he made this decision without me. I would have arranged for a meetup in a public place at least because my son does want to meet him. Regardless, my son's father backed out, parentheses, stopped responding to messages, ghosted, basically. So in the end, he made the decision for everyone. But my son still has held it against my husband, understandably. The relationship has never been the same. We are all in therapy now. Thank you, therapy. Somebody mentioned it. On to the issue. My son took off for an all-boys summer camp in mid-June. It's 3 hours away, and my father owns it. He allows my son to work for him or just chill at the camp. He's been doing it for years. I did not see my son at all until 2 days ago when camp let out. My entire family arranged to meet up at an amusement park to welcome my son and my father back home. As soon as my son got out of my dad's car, he immediately ran to my vehicle and said, "Where's my baby?" What? My husband snapped. He said, "Don't call her your baby. That's effing weird." My son asked how it was weird, and he said, "Because she's my baby. Don't be weird." I guess I saw red in a moment because, like, his youngest son, 8, his daughter, 11, even his mom, all call our daughter their baby, and he never says anything. So in front of everyone, in my defense, I wasn't thinking about it. I said, "I would argue that you're the one being weird here, as well as inappropriate, because you're insinuating that wait, what? Why'd they write this like this? You're insinuating that it's being said that I had a child with my oldest child. You're upset. You're upset. You don't have to be."
Wait, what? I missed something.
Yeah, basically he was saying the son was being weird for calling his little sister his baby.
That's
And the
normal.
mama basically called the dad out, like, "Why are you saying he weird? You being weird because you insinuate that I had a child with my son. That is weird. Not
That's
him calling."
weird. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he's
Is
like,
that
that's
the
weird.
insinuation? But okay.
Yeah, and so she goes, his face went immediately red. That lets us know who these people are. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant at all. So I asked him what he meant then, because he never says anything to anyone else when they call his baby theirs, and said that if it's weird that my son says it. Then it's weird when the women in his family say it too. He didn't say anything, so I laid out a final, "Don't be an inappropriate cause."
What did he say?
You're not gonna know what your dad. I'm just trying to get through it. I'm just trying to get through it. Don't be inappropriate toward the dynamics with my children again. He didn't end up going to the amusement park. He sat in the car. He was silent the entire ride home. When we got home, he said that I embarrassed him on purpose to be vindictive, and that he wasn't being inappropriate at all by telling my son to stop saying that.
No,
I think it's different, because I don't feel bad for embarrassing him either, because he very clearly had it in his head that my son was insinuating some things that he shouldn't have been, or else he would have never made a comment. All while telling his family to stop. All while never telling his family to stop doing the same thing. He's like, "Am I the asshole? He expects me to apologize," and I've told him that's not happening. This is
I wouldn't apologize either. I don't see the insinuation of her having a kid with her kid. You know, like, I don't see that, but I definitely can
That's
see
what he
some
was insinuating. That's why he said he told the son not to say that.
That's why he
You
told
don't tell nobody else not to say it. But I think this was really long, but the first part was needed because y'all don't like each other.
Yeah.
The son
he's basically just saying that because he don't want you saying
anything
like that to his biological. That's what that is. And I, as the mother of both, I'm assuming both kids. No, she wouldn't be the mother of that kid. It's blended. Anyway,
that's her biological son is not getting along with his stepfather. That's what's
right. Happening. And the baby in reference is this husband's.
Okay.
So yeah, I would have an issue with the husband as the wife in this. I would have an issue with the husband because don't pick and choose what's okay with this kid. Because you put one against the other. You got an issue with this kid.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
First of all, everybody else do it, he's gonna do it too. Stop playing with me.
Right. Like,
you think he don't respect you, and you think I don't respect all over this stuff that happened earlier, and the relationship was never the same. So this is where it is. So you have animosity. It's not me being vindictive. It's me calling you out on something and having to be accountable.
You're just embarrassed.
And if that was embarrassing to you, it was embarrassing to you. Now,
Like, you're not finna sit here and be like, don't call my baby that. The what? Yo, you
Yeah.
can't have this, but everybody else can.
I will say she could have talked about it at a different time, though. She could have called it out at a different time. I'm giving you that. But saying something about it, period. Yeah, you should have said something.
Yeah,
Something.
I would be like, what you mean he can't? Why he can't do that? What's wrong?
I
And
also
then,
don't know your tone either. You know what I mean? Because we're reading this. So what tone and volume did you have? That
and we
matters
all know
too.
passive aggressive, so you could say it nice with a smile on your face. I know what you meant.
Mm-hmm. We was talking about that Southern shit. Southern people, bless your heart, they just called you a lot of things, but just one statement.
Girl, who is that guy? I follow him on Instagram. He's a Southern guy. He always talks about Southern things and he breaks it down. And one of it was like gossiping, and it's like, no, we don't gossip, but we will pray for you. But in order for us to pray for you, we need to know what's going on so that we can adequately pray for you. Bless their heart. What is going on? Oh Lord, well, in the name of, it was that type of thing, and I was like, he is so right. It was so funny. So I was like, no,
there's a literal clutching of the pearls. There's always a literal just.
Oh well, we have to pray for her. Let's pray, but we can't pray unless we know what's going on. And you only tell the business because you're telling them so that we can all pray for this person. That is true.
Mm-hmm. That'll do it. Yeah, I agree with you. That was a really long one.
It was.
Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, I get it.
Let me see. Let's do one more.
Well, hold on. I got 2 minutes.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
I gotta pick up baby.
This has been great.
It has. It's been good. It's been good.
Yeah, we be mad long-winded, especially when we haven't had an episode in a while.
I know. And then it's like we haven't recorded in a while, and we also haven't talked.
We'll be more consistent. So this will be like a catch-up /
hopefully.
I don't even know what.
And we got through it even when we
got brownie hummus, and I kind of want to get some.
Say what?
Brownie hummus.
Brownie hummus?
That sounds like diarrhea, doesn't it?
Yes, brownie hummus. All right, girl, let me get ready to go pick up my little rug wrap. But do you have anything else before we dip out?
No. Appreciate y'all's patience. Please make sure you leave comments. People have been active on TikTok, which is awesome.
They love us on TikTok. I don't know what the deal is with Instagram and Facebook, but that's
Instagram. Man, Facebook, man, I'm gonna get off Facebook because everybody missing, and I'm sick of it. And I'm saying that because a lot of them aren't real. That's what I'm saying. Hi.
What's the matter with my boo over there?
Oh, you beat your bed up.
He wet. I miss my baby that little. Now she's all like particular about how she want to wear her hair. I let them dreads down, and I flipped one to the side. And I put a clip. I made a pom-pom clip and put it on the side, and that's what she had it yesterday. And so this morning she was like, "Mommy, I don't want to wear a pom-pom bow." And I was like, "Okay." She was like, "I want to wear a headband." And I was like, "All right." We get in the bathroom, and I fluff out her hair, put some moisturizer on her box, and she was just like, "I want a clip," and she wanted it like the one side clipped up, and then the other side down. And I was just like,
"Yeah, because fashion."
Because I did that to her, and I'm just like, girl, I start at a new dental office like tomorrow, and today we're doing a dry run. So, I'm still doing my thing, my thug fizzle, y'all. I'm switching to a different office, which I'm totally excited about because it's predominantly pediatric. I'm working with kids, and I love working with kids and big kids, and it's with Medicaid patients, which doesn't really matter, but I like kids, so but I'm like, girl, we're doing a dry run this morning because I start at the new dental office tomorrow. I don't have time for this, but it actually benefits, which is why you do dry runs. Because now I need to factor in. This is how I want to wear my hair now into my morning time. Come get her, Kayshauna.
This is no. It's enough. She come gymnastics with us. She would have a time. I just feel
She
like she
would.
would be good at it because she was in dance.
Yes, she
Right.
would. And she'd be flipping around the house now, wanting her gymnastics so bad. And there's a place out here in Sterlington that's close to her daycare that does it. I gotta see what. Oh, girl, did I tell you I make more money at this new place I'm going to?
Awesome. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason.
$1 more, $2
Hey,
more.
hey, that's 80 more. A check.
Girl, okay. But yeah, I still want her to do dance, and I still want to get her involved in gymnastics. I just feel like she'll soar in gymnastics. She will. Anyway, all right, people, we'll holler at y'all later. Thanks for listening in. Rate us and share the episode with a friend, okay?
Bye.
That wraps up another show. Thank you for listening to A Daydreamers podcast. Follow us on all the socials at Love Aaron AD, at KHD Studios, and A Daydreamers podcast. Rate us and leave us a review, but only if it's a good one. That's the only way Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other platforms know just how fabulous we are. Also, subscribe to our Patreon. Subscriptions start at $5, and the proceeds go towards keeping the podcast alive. When you subscribe, you get access to visuals and video recordings of our episodes, sneak peeks, and early access to our individual and private works. See you next time. Bye.